Now, you may realize that my voice sounds like when you're trying to clean your cheese grater and you accidentally use the rough side of your sponge and go against the grain. Some people sound husky and hot when they're sick. Not me. But everyone has their burden to bear in life, I suppose. This charming voice... Don't know how I'm gonna cover those up in the video, but we'll see. This charming voice is a byproduct of me being sick. Sick with what? With macarona. Hey, macarona. Oh, stop. Yes, after 2 years of evading the virus in what felt like the worst game of Pac-Man, I've now lost and been bedridden for the last 2 days. Sitting in my own sick, the scent thick, and Alex got better, but his mother went quick. That's a bad omen. That's a bad omen for sure, man. Stop. So the realization I've come to while being sick was how utterly bored I've become. There is a difference between choosing to stay in bed all day and being forced to. Adding on to that, Valentine's Day is coming up, so I'm not only sick and isolated, I'm sick, isolated, and lonely. Lovely. However, also because it is Valentine's Day soon, I wanted to talk about something that I did to pass the time, especially now, but also before the whole
macarona
debacle. I used to read manga pretty regularly as a kid and teen, but oh boy, as soon as I got into college and K-pop slid under my door and attached itself onto my ankle with no desire to ever let go, I ditched the Japanese black and white pages for their newly discovered, fully colored Korean cousins. There are seldom times when I look back at the grayscale pages, only for manga I really want to read, or if the art is so godly that even the black and white can't deter me from it. Manhwa are basically the Korean manga equivalent, just colourful. Yeah. And I must admit that I've become a little spoiled. Why read through a black and white cross-hatching shaded manga where you can look at this? Another thing that manhwa and manga have in common, and that is a big part as to why I read them, are beautiful characters. There's just something about seeing them in full color, along with the god-tier art, that just does me in. Now, I have a very specific genre of manhwa that I like to read. And with specific, I mean I like to read stories that go a little something like, I got reincarnated / thrown back in time / reborn into a fantasy 18th century European-style fictional country that I maybe have read of before in a book or that I've lived in before I died, and now instead of doing what everyone else does, I do the opposite, which everyone else does as well. Along the way, I'll snag myself 1, 2, 3, all the hot men in this world. Make that into a light novel title, why don't ya? You might think, how is this such a specific trope, and how many of those are there even to begin with? You might be surprised because there are a lot, thankfully. Some that I enjoy reading are, for example, Lady Baby, Who Made Me a Princess, Stepmother's Märchen, Dr. Elise, I'll Be the Matriarch in This Life, and I Seduced the Villain's Father, and plenty more. Why do I enjoy this very specific genre? Well, first of all, look at these men. Well, to start with, I think I was severely impacted in my formative years due to fanfiction and other types of media containing romance in the shoujo sense? Sailor Moon, Wedding Peach, Kaichou Maid-sama, Inuyasha. All of those were anime and, in turn, fanfictions I've consumed in an unhealthy amount. These shows have this special kind of romance to them which I would associate with shoujo romance media and also the female gaze. I would put Pride and Prejudice in there as well as any other book written by Jane Austen, to be honest. So I consumed a lot of media with these female gaze-centered romances to the point where I think they corrupted me a little. And now I have something called emotional damage. Do you know what the men in these novels do for their lovers? Kill a dragon? Sure. Overthrow an empire? Got it. Take the brunt of a fatal attack head on? Yeah. Now it's not only the male leads doing this for their love interest. No. It's the female leads' fathers, brothers, childhood friends, cousins. Pretty much every male in their life is ready to drop-kick the world and burn it on a silver platter for the female lead, who would take a look at it in the end and say, no, she wanted it on a gold platter, thank you very much. The men in my life really gotta step up their game, not gonna lie. Is it really that hard to find a handsome, kind young man whose body was literally sculpted by frickin' Michelangelo, who is an emperor, prince, or whatever? I'll take knight too, I'm not picky. Who's ready to buy me the world with his riches in this day and age? The answer? Yeah. And that's why I immerse myself into these stories and stay up to read them until 4 a.m, trying to forget that I have responsibilities waiting for me the next day, which I cannot keep pushing away, but I do, so I stay up even longer trying to fight the inevitable passing of time, because if I don't go to sleep, then it won't be tomorrow, right? It's still today, and today I don't have responsibilities, right? Today I can look at handsome, charming 2D men and pretend everything's fine.
Ciao. Anyway, so...
Let me enlighten you on how the plot usually goes. Usually, the main female lead gets reincarnated into this pseudo-fantastical European setting as, no, not the heroine, but either as its villainess or as its unmentioned side character. There are 3 main ways the plot usually proceeds from there. The first is that the female lead has been wronged in her previous life and she's on a warpath to take back what was rightfully hers. The second would be that the female lead took one look at the situation and decided, not today, Satan, and tries to book her way out of there, which usually fails spectacularly. Spectacularly. Or, the female lead is determined to change the plot for better or for worse, and takes initiative, not in the warpath way, but more along the wholesome, ditzy sort of way. Which one of these paths the manhwa takes usually depends on if the female lead is actually a heroine, an anti-hero, or a villainess. More often than not, in whichever path of life they chose, they now somehow need an influential male in their life to fix things. 18th century European setting, after all. If you don't got balls, you don't get halls. And that's how they meet the fated male character they, of course, have absolutely zero interest in at first, despite the obligatory, "Oh no, he's hot!" Which, yeah, I appreciate that. Honestly, that's most of the time the reason why I even clicked on that manhwa in the first place, on these virus-infested sites. I have more trouble blocking viruses on my phone due to the endless pop-ups than I have fighting
Macarona.
Because I'm vaccinated and boosted, as you should be as well. Vaccinate. So anyway, they started blasting. And by they I mean the male and female lead, and by blasting I mean dating. As per of a contract, arranged marriage, or mutual benefit. They now start telling the whole world that yes, they are dating, thank you very much, and no, they haven't known each other for longer than 3 frames. Then, sooner or later, they gravitate towards each other, despite the initial refusal. Oh, who would have guessed with this title? And then you get redirected to the manhwa starting page, because it hasn't updated further than that, and you're left in a mental void. After 4 hours spent scrolling, it's 4:30 a.m, you have to get up at 8, and nothing in life has meaning anymore. Until you open the next 40 chapter manhwa that is still ongoing and repeat the cycle. With that said, if a romantic prince who will slay a dragon for you is what you want in life, then that's what you should go for. You've got a point, you're an icon, you're a legend, and you are the moment. So don't settle for less. It's what you deserve. Now excuse me, I'll go drink 10 more liters of ginger tea. I hope you have a great day. Stay healthy. See ya. Bye.